Right, guys, welcome back to Football United TV. This is Gunners from All Corners, the show where we say Arsenal in multiple different languages. We have very exciting guests in here today. I'm going to introduce them to you right after the intro. Right, guys, welcome back. Thanks for watching us. Right, so very special lineup today. I'm going to start with the main man. He's always here, Stephen Featley. Stephen, mate, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. You know me, I can't miss a Gunners Four Corner, especially like when I'm helping you out last few months, especially. So always there to just ramble on about this club as usual.
Awesome, man. I'm always thankful. I'm always thankful for it. Right, Princess Gunnar, thank you so much for being here. How are you, my friend?
Oh, it's so lovely to be invited on your show. Well, apart from the hiccup with the IT situation at the beginning, which is probably my fault, it's lovely to be here. Thank you so much for having me on.
No, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. And my man, Static. You good, mate?
Hello.
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 Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
I think everyone's having technical problems today.
Yeah. Right, guys. So we have three topics that we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to start with the past, right? Because we have the past, the present, and the future here to be talking about. The past is two great wins. Arsenal wasn't doing too well before those two games, but we did like not only win two games in a row, but we performed well as well. It wasn't one of those like just one situation we score, we defend the whole game. Like it wasn't like that at all. Two solid performances. So I want to get you guys' thoughts on that. Let's start with you, Princess Gunnar.
Well, yeah, interesting, wasn't it? Liverpool United loss wasn't great. We came into honestly Southampton, wasn't it? And then we played West Ham. Yeah. I was at the Southampton game. Unfortunately, I couldn't go to the West Ham game due to work reasons. But first 20 minutes, a bit sticky, as everyone said. But when we got going, and it was just absolutely wonderful to watch. And the first goal is one of my favourite goals all season, from Ramsdale all the way down to Lacazette. I just loved it. Absolutely loved it. And yeah, really enjoyed that in the West Ham game. We burst some bubbles that night, didn't we? And it was lovely to see. And Martinelli was so Henry-esque with that goal. It was beautiful. We just got to continue. It's a little bit tough at the moment because I think we're the only game on tomorrow, or maybe there's maybe another one. But I really want to play tomorrow night because Leeds are, coming off a 7-0 loss, and our momentum, we need to keep going. We really don't need a COVID break at the moment. Yeah. But positive signs, definitely.
All right, awesome. Do you feel like Aubameyang's absence was important in these two games? Because I've mentioned to Steven that if it was him shooting the first goal that Lacazette scored, that great goal that you mentioned, if it was Aubameyang taking that shot, it would have probably hit the moon, the way he's been shooting recently. Yeah. So do you feel like that comes into play?
I've been very vocal about Aubameyang in the last, when I was on the Highbury squad. I feel like the minute he signed that contract, he was virgin on world class, and the next week he couldn't hit a barn door. And I know there's probably many circumstances we don't know that go on behind the scenes, COVID, family reasons and stuff, and fair enough. But we're talking 18 months now. We pay him over 300 grand a week, and it's not good enough. Now, turning up late to the North London derby was absolutely disgraceful. and this as well. And there's probably many other incidents we don't know, because if you listen to Mikel Arteta, he said the latest incident, so God only knows. But, and I've had to think about this the last couple of days because I've been on a podcast talking about this and talking on Twitter as well. If he came out and apologised to the club and to us and got on with his football, I'd be very happy to get on with supporting him, absolutely. If he doesn't, then I'm not sure how I feel. But, you know, football fans are fickle. He starts putting the ball in the back of the net, we'll all be Aubameyang fans again. And that's fair enough. That's his job to do that. I heard today he's not training with the first team. We've read this. He's now not going to be playing with us until he's gone to the AFCON and come back. And maybe when he comes back, we'll see a vibrant, positive Aubameyang, or we won't. But I'm angry that it's been made about him this week.
Yeah.
And not our good wins, because it's all about him in the press, you know. But I'm definitely 100% back Arteta with this. You're not doing it on the pitch, and you go off and you come back late and you have a tattoo, whatever.
All right. So Stephen, before throwing in your 2 cents about the two wins, let me ask you this: Did Aubameyang as a captain ever make true sense, other than him being our best player at that point? And I'm not talking because I've seen things about like people trying to defend him, saying that people touch on that like captain material too much. I'm not talking about the fact that he plays like he seems to be happy when he plays. He smiles a lot. He plays around with his teammates. I'm not talking about that, but I've never seen him as being a vocal player.
No, he's not.
Like someone that's going to be setting the example.
No.
I've never looked at Aubameyang as a captain at all. Like these people, I don't where everyone gets this from, but like when you don't turn up in a game for 90 minutes, and he's been doing that constantly, when you hardly score any goals, and then to make matters worse, you don't end up shouting instructions to your players. When you come on as a captain, you're supposed to be basically Arteta's mouthpiece. Basically, you're supposed to repeat what the manager's taught and said throughout the coaching, throughout training, throughout actual instructions he's given out on the touchline. You're there to give it to the players and encourage them to play well, right, and to look up to. So your example, so someone like the reason we call out Tierney as a captain is because he plays well every week. He plays well every week, goes to training, does what he needs to do, sets a good example. Lacazette even, very professional, sets his example, does what he needs to do, right? But Aubameyang doesn't set examples. He sets all the wrong examples. Turning up late for North London Derby. At what point does an Arsenal player turn up late for North London Derby? Every player, as an Arsenal player, should be begging to be in the squad for a North London Derby. Like, there's no excuse for it. Going off and getting a tattoo, like, for me, if that's the latest incident and there's been more incidents about it, I wouldn't actually be surprised, to be honest, because I've got a feeling he's got no faith in this manager whatsoever. I actually think he's turned off by this manager. Maybe because the amount of you don't get a lot of opportunities as a striker at Arsenal at the minute. You don't, on average, get a lot of chances. But even if chances, like you said, chances he does make, he doesn't score. Is that a coaching issue? I don't know. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But it seems to me what's going on behind the scenes and what's happening on the pitch has seemed to really turn him off. With one point, he was so engaging with the fans and everyone. Next minute, he just not interested for 1 second. So for me, it's more down to now that he's just not interested either to play for the club or the manager. And I think it's more to do with the manager rather than he's had a falling out with Arteta. And I think he's more wanting to get the manager out, to be honest.
Right.
It's the way it looks like to me. Because otherwise he'd start playing at some point.
Yeah. Right. So moving on from Aubameyang, some quick thoughts on the past 2 games.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, Everton was an absolute just disgraceful performance. I can't really, even I expected us to try and beat an Everton side, which was, like, appalling. I would say West Ham was probably the better result because obviously West Ham are in Europe. They've been playing really, really well. Yes, they've had some key injuries as well, but they still had a very good side out there and a midfield that was dangerous, and we seemed to control that very well. So I say the first half wasn't the same really, but the second half, like the Martinelli goal, was quality. I could watch that for ages. And yeah, Smith Rowe's to finish it off was good as well. So the Everton game, the Southampton game, you was more expectant to try and get that result because Southampton aren't doing well at all. And though we struggled the first 20, 30 minutes, once we started getting going, then yeah, it was a lot more comfortable afternoon. But like I said, I'm not jumping up for joy because so far when we've had those 10-game runs and we've gone to a club like Man United or a game where it matters to where we want to be, we seem to fall short in a minute, and that's my biggest worry.
All right. Static, I'm gonna go to you in a second. Let me just read the comments real quick. Special thank you, King Saeed, and welcome back. Sorry for the delay. Yes, sorry, people.
My fault.
I'll send you the link in a little bit, my man. Thank you for that. All right, so I think it's a club issue rather than a player issue. So many of the current players do not respect the club. When we gave Auba 375K, it's when we gave him too much power. That makes sense.
I hear that. Because
you
look at Granit Xhaka and the way he's acted a couple of times as well. No, and the fact that he's still never even apologized, even under the club have asked him to, he's still come out and said he won't do it. So that says it all, doesn't it?
The fact that he actually said to German or Swiss reporters that he would do it again, that says it all about Xhaka.
He doesn't respect the club.
Yeah. Right. Well, Static, if you have anything to add on the Auba issue, go ahead. But I want to hear your thoughts on the past 2 games. And I know that you're not usually the most, I don't know, the biggest Arteta enthusiast. So I wanna ask if you can see any progress in these past 2 games, or even like the beginning of the season.
He's putting you on the spot here.
Oh. Could you repeat that again? So I couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah, it's all good. So I want to hear your thoughts on the past 2 games, and can you see any sort of progress either from these 2 games or even like the past 15 games where we lost 2 or 3 games and drew 2, won the rest, something like that.
I'm trying to hold back. First of all, I never wanted Arteta in the first place because it's very unlike Arsenal to hire someone who is at the time obviously very inexperienced. So obviously he's gained experience day by day now, but he's still not quite there yet. And but the start of the season it's been horrendous. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the fact that it's taken us until just before we won against West Ham to finally get a positive goal difference. I mean, I don't know if anyone knew, but for us to have a negative goal difference for the first time since December 1913, that's shocking. And
I knew that. Stephen only mentioned it like 30 times in the past few streams.
I didn't mention it 30 times. I mentioned it like once or twice. What are you on about?
I knew it. Yeah, keep going. Okay.
So, but like I said, just it has been up and down for Arsenal, definitely. But that start to the season, 3 consecutive losses, and you look, we did well to get a few wins, but they weren't not convincing at all. I mean, 1-0s against Burnley and Norwich, and then obviously that. Look, I know that it was good that we were building momentum, and then that 8-game or 10-game unbeaten run in all competitions, the League Cup and the league. Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. But obviously the question is, can you keep this up against the better teams in the top 10? because all of our wins so far have been at the time everyone in the bottom 10 in the league. Obviously, Leicester have now gone up to 8th, but they were in the bottom 10. Obviously, our first win against teams in the bottom 10. Sorry, the top 10 now is obviously West Ham. So, but my advice to Arsenal is you've got to get more wins against the teams in the top 10. But obviously we were doing okay, but I was still not convinced. And then obviously the losses against Liverpool and then Man United and then Everton, I was just like, yep, same old Arsenal. What I didn't like was obviously with that performance against Liverpool was extremely disappointing, just absolutely pathetic. But then obviously there was improvements against Man United and Everton away, but obviously we're scoring goals. But they were opportunities Arsenal should have taken. They were there for the taking, both teams. Mm-hmm. But the fact that we just sat back and defended like we really had to was not necessary. Like, I understand it's okay to do that for 5 or 10 minutes, but then go and attack again. It's just, I don't like. And I was just going to say as well, look, at home, we're fantastic, but away, we are absolutely shocking. So this is why I'm not convinced at all with what's going on this season, because, it's great. We only lost one game, and which was the Chelsea game at home. Fantastic. Our record is apparently the best in the top 5 European leagues this season, so which is great. It's fantastic. But like I said, I look at the overall record, home and away, not just home. So it's it's great you're doing this at home, Arsenal. You've only suffered one draw and one loss, but why can't you do that away? So I just expect a lot more from Arsenal, but it's just maybe it's just because I'm old-fashioned and I just want Arsenal to compete for the league, and because I've waited 17 years for Arsenal to win the league again, and it's going to be 18.
Static though, but we did play very, very well at Leicester away. We tore them a new one.
I was just going to get to that. Yeah.
I know it's not consistent enough, but he has got a very young team, and I'm very pro Arteta. And I can see what he's trying to do. I know. And that's fine. It's like each to their own. No one's right, no one's wrong, are they? Yeah, but I just feel that who do we credit when we win? Who do we credit when we lose? Like, who do we have a go at when we lose? And it is a collective responsibility as well.
Yeah, true. So, can I just say, look, I do. Yeah. Can I just say, look, I do. When we win, of course, I'm going to praise Arteta and the players. But unlike certain fans, they like to just only praise the players when we win and not Arteta. So I don't understand why people just only do that, and then when it's a loss, it's the opposite direction. So, like I said, when we win, I praise the players and the manager, Arteta. But when we lose, I blame, of course, everyone. So everyone's to blame. And everyone I praise if we're doing well and we win games and obviously get positive results. So we did really well.
The last kick of the game the last kick of the game at Everton.
Yeah.
Aubameyang was in front of goal. It was harder to miss. So are we looking at Arteta's fault for that, or Aubameyang? This is what I mean. I think it's a bit.
Yeah.
Is it?
And Nketiah as well.
Yeah. I don't blame Eddie, actually. I think that game was harder to miss, but he's a young kid. We've got Aubameyang who's captain coming on. Blah blah blah. Listen, we've spoken.
Would you agree with Balogun though? Should have been there, not Nketiah though.
I think Nketiah's earned he's earned the chance, like Martinelli's earned the chance, and maybe he sees something we don't.
Because Nketiah's had loads of chances, and Balogun has been tearing it up in the under-23s. So I don't see why Balogun shouldn't get a chance at least.
I agree with you, but I think it's all about timing. Everyone was screaming for Martinelli last season. He didn't bring him on. I had a moan about it. I said, why is he not bringing him on? Why is he not putting Balogun on? I was doing this with Kev as well.
Balogun's disappeared.
And I think Balogun may have a slight attitude by how I've seen certain things, but maybe that's a young thing, and he has to grow out of that a little bit. Martinelli's now taking his chance, and you wouldn't drop him. You just wouldn't drop Martinelli. Forget his great goal the other night. You just wouldn't drop him for his work rate and everything he does and everything he brings to the team. And I think he's absolutely rubbish. I don't know if I can swear on this pod. Sorry, I was going to say.
We avoid it, but it happens every now and then.
No, I won't. It's absolutely rubbish that they're not playing for him as well. I don't feel that he's lost the dressing room at all. I think it's the absolute opposite. If you watch them the other night, and if we talk about Lacazette, I've always loved Lacazette. Always loved Lacazette.
Yeah,
he's captain material. The young kids love him.
Do you feel should we sign him up right now? Then should we not? We should be worrying about trying to get him.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that towards the end because that's
the
conversation.
Can I just quickly finish what I was saying about the last two games?
Sorry, Static. You know I always interrupt.
It's fine, PJ. It's fine.
I can't. My brain just goes, right, say it, because you'll forget.
I was going to say, you were right to mention Leicester, because like I said, we did, because I do remember we did draw away to Brighton and we did win away to Leicester. So, like I said, that's great. That's fantastic, because, I always take the positive results away from home. It's just, I just want to see a few more wins away from home just to consolidate top four where we should be at the moment, which I'm hearing a lot of Arsenal fans saying, oh, we should get top four, but then I'm hearing other fans say, oh, top six. So we can't seem to make up our minds at the moment. But anyway, the 2 wins. So yeah, look, I'm glad that we did bounce back at home to Southampton and West Ham. 2 games I expected Arsenal to win because we have like an unbelievable home record against both teams. I think we're like 25 plus games unbeaten at home against both teams. So it's just like, yes.
I think we'd all like to find some consistency, wouldn't we? Yeah. That's what we're looking for.
That's what I said before. Like, I just want that consistency away from home. It's great we're doing it at home, but we must start doing it away from home now.
Yeah.
I think even the biggest positive, the biggest admirer of Arteta would agree with that we got to improve our away form. But I want to ask PG one quick thing, because I know the other two guys' opinions on this. Don't you feel like people put a little too much importance on the goal difference thing? Because everyone knows that Arsenal was horrible in those first 3 games, and that was what, a minus 9 difference, something like that
9.
already,
-9.
in the very
Can
beginning. So do people? I want to hear her.
That's the problem. We're always known to score a lot of goals. Sorry. Go. Go, PJ.
No, go on. Say it, Static, because I've got something to say on that.
No, I'm just saying we're Arsenal. It's just we've been so used to attacking, and yes, I know different eras were different. I know it was a little bit different under George Graham, but at least we were winning games. We were being consistent. But I know Arteta's kind of trying to do the same thing, but it's a different era, different time, different generation. So it's just not going to work this time round.
Okay.
Just being 1-0s. It's just.
I'll let PG go first.
Thank you.
Okay. I don't know how old you all are, but if you know what I'm going to mention, Static, in 1989 when we went to Anfield. And we had to win by 2 clear goals to win it.
Oh yeah,
goal difference.
I had to watch a film for that one.
Okay. So Stephen, I can imagine, but I was there that night. I always say this in every pod I go to, but I was there that night, and we had to win it by 2 clear goals. End of story. So from that moment on in my life, goal difference has meant everything every single time, and it's one thing.
I agree.
That me and my
100%,
dad
PG.
always talk about this.
PJ, sorry.
It's half a point. It really is. Whenever you look at it, it really is. Now we are like, what are we on, 0 or 1 now? I don't even know.
+1.
I think it's +1.
It's really not good enough. 100% not good enough.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
We should be on 10 to 15, but we should be having more consistency anyway. But I think as a young
PJ.
as the 2 young ones here and here, goal difference probably you don't really understand it. Sorry, I don't mean to be condescending, but you don't really get how important it can be. It can be really important. If we're going for 4th, which unfortunately seems to be our highest aspirations at the moment.
Yeah.
And we got West Ham, we got United, Tottenham, and we've got good goal difference, and it comes down to the last game. Trust me, how much goal difference is so important.
I've been saying it. I've been saying it a lot. I mean, obviously, because I grew up in a time. I grew up in a time of Wenger, which obviously meant that you saw a lot of goals coming in, but that's not the point for me. I mean, you watch back, even though I'm young myself and I never got to watch 89. You watch back and you watch for history and you watch things like that, and you think that we need to make sure we always have a good goal difference in case it ever comes, because it's always going to be at one time where you think it's not that important. Then it realizes that position you needed is all come down to goal difference. Then you realize how important it is. So, for me, what it shows to me is that though we might be scoring goals, if we're winning games, we're only winning games 1-0 or 2-1 or something by not very big margins, right? But then at the same time, we're also not. It's like conceding in those games. We're still conceding goals or chances at the same time. So it's and obviously because then when we get to play the bigger teams who like Liverpool, and for me it's like with the Liverpool game is like that. It's just sometimes when we go 1 or 2-0 down, we don't try and maybe do something different or something different to try and change the game. Playing out from the back all the time at Anfield is like a lamb to the slaughter. It's never going to work. But basically what I'm trying to say is that it also just shows that our defense is still probably just not as good as our attack at the same time. If the goal difference is always -1 or +1 or on that fringes as it is right now.
I'm okay. So I'm sure now that I didn't phrase my question well enough, because I know how important goal difference is. I'm aware of that. It's just that people are using Arsenal's goal difference right now a little too much to analyze our form, to analyze how Arteta is setting the team up, all of that. And when you take into account that we had a brain fart the first 3 games, that was a -9 goal difference.
Yeah.
If you consider that, for the past 15 games, we have a +10 goal difference. I'm not saying we shouldn't fight for something better. I'm just saying that people are using it too much against to criticize Arteta, really. That was my question.
To be fair,
around this time we usually have around +10.
Yeah, so it's not good enough.
Excuses.
It's not good enough, and
exactly.
And we should be on about +10, but it's never really. It's not. I shouldn't say ever, but it's rarely discussed goal difference anymore. But it's more about 4th place, games in hand, and other things are mentioned, but it's important. So clean sheets and winning games with clean sheets is not only about, the 3 points, it's about the goal difference, it's about momentum and confidence. So I think it's really important.
Building confidence in the defence as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. I was just about to say, what he's done with the defence is that we feel more confident with them now, don't we? Yeah. They mess up, absolutely, and they did.
I will say that there was some.
Move on,
well, not just say. I'll just quickly say there are some games where I feel is that we concede a lot of chances through the defensive work. Is that some of the defense our defense are? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We do rely at the moment when you have player of the month or man of the match most of the time. Here's Aaron Ramsdale, your goalkeeper. It sometimes shows that your defense is conceding too many chances for him to be able to having to make the saves to bail us out at some of the times. Most of the games, most of the games I've seen. I'll talk to him later. Is that some of the games that we have is just we seem to rely too much on Ramsdale to sort of keep us in the game, so we can then go on and win it. That's what I see.
Sorry, Stephen. I was just to say, can I just say something about that comment? King.
Then we're going to move on to the Leeds game, by the way.
Yes. You're right, King Sate. He did do that. Arteta can't do that. He hasn't got the players to do it. This is the whole problem when he gets compared. He's got such a young team and they're growing together.
That's the pressure for himself under.
George Graham had amazing players that he
And
could do
experienced
that.
players.
Yeah, 1-0 to the Arsenal. You know,
But did he buy it before '89? He's bought a load of young players in.
yeah, I mean,
for that side.
when George Graham came in, we beat Liverpool in 1987 in the cup final. That was my first live ever going to Wembley final, and he got rid of Charlie Nicholas because he didn't rate him.
Yeah,
we were all so upset because he was my hero. You know, I love Charlie Nicholas, but he was right. You know, and he brought in many. I mean, obviously KC and Wrighty. How do I explain this? That he had the players there. Arteta's building. This is the problem. Do you want to wait and see if he can, or do you not want to wait? The problem is there's not much patience in football anymore.
Well,
and also, I will say about Arteta. I know it's probably like I do. Plus, I'm very pro him. He came in when COVID. He had no pre-season. He caught COVID. He's had honestly not the easiest of run. All managers have as well, but he was a new one at a big club that was failing miserably. So anyway.
Yeah, I'd say is that, like, I get your point with no time in football, and unlike Static, I was one of those after the FA Cup. I was giving them that chance. For me, you got to the North London derby last season, and I was like, no, I can't accept that no longer. And I couldn't accept that run any longer. And for me, it's now down to the fact that, like, you're right, there is no time in football. And the problem is that our rivals, as much as we want to progress as a team with Arteta, our rivals seem to be stretching further and further ahead of us.
Yep.
And I just feel that the longer we're waiting with Arteta, the further we're getting away from ever winning the league again. I mean, I won it last time we won the league. I was 10. Like, you won't believe at primary school what that did when you were 10. Watching that, it was quality. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I let my friends all have it, but ever since then, I've literally been cost all the way through high school. It's just not right. So, I'm getting pretty impatient for my title now. So, like,
you've got a long wait.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait a few more years, but I just don't feel it's gonna be. I just don't feel in certain games. I just don't feel it changes. There's certain times we can change sort of the game and the way we play to benefit the way how the game's going, and I just doesn't feel he takes that. He doesn't take the risk to do that, and that's where I feel he fails. And I think if he came up against a Pep or a Klopp who knows how to, or a Tuchel, for example, who knows how to tactically change games, he would get undone, even if he had the squad to match them.
Yeah,
that's the problem. I'd say I've got with Arteta.
All right. Well, we gotta move on to the Leeds game, guys. We spent like a half hour talking about the first topic, so we gotta speed things up a little bit. King Said, my man, welcome back.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on the channel.
Always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure. So you're going to be the first one to talk about the Leeds game. What are your thoughts for this game, Drew? Well, I think I know your prediction already. I think you predicted a 4-0 win to the Arsenal. So you wanna explain the reasoning behind that?
Yeah. Firstly, what I want to say is that I think this game is an important game because of. I think if you look at the past 2 wins, I've seen more of a style of play in those 2 wins than I saw in the 10-game win streak that we had. So now I want to see if Arteta and the team can build on that style of play, where before the way we were attacking was very rigid. It was always like you give the ball to Granit Xhaka, Granit give it to Tierney, he bumps on the left and cross. And the right back always stands to defend.
Yeah.
But you could see in these past 2 games, Tomiyasu has had a license to go forward. Partey and Xhaka are trying to break the lines through the middle. Saka is more involved in the game. And I want to see if he can bring that to Leeds away from home. Now that they're wounded, they have a lot of players that are injured, a lot senior. Some of the best players are going to miss the game. it's an opportunity for us to really show that we are serious. And that's why I said 4-0, because Leeds have even more players out than they did against Man City.
Yeah.
And they should be wounded and we should be on high confidence. But I can also see us draw 1-1. You never know with Arsenal.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Yeah. All right. PG, do you agree with King Saeed? Do you have anything to add to that? What are your thoughts for this game?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is where goal difference could help. We could do it. But the problem we've got is just because they were smashed 7-0 last week by City, we're not City. And you know what we're like? We come to town. Look at Everton. They were absolutely diabolical. We come to town and they play like Barcelona. If we're on it tomorrow night, if we turn up and they want it, we could go 4 or 5 tomorrow. I just hope it is. How can I put it? I hope we play. We need to play, but we have to wait and see tomorrow. I just hope they don't call it off at 4 or 5 o'clock when our fans are virtually in Yorkshire, because that's been going on a lot. But yeah, I agree. It's definitely there for the taking. I will be absolutely pissed off. Absolutely. If we play and we don't win tomorrow night. They are demolished by injuries.
Yeah.
So I will be really angry if they don't turn up tomorrow night, But again, for us, because we're not in Europe, we now had 3 games in a week. So Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. But we've got to get on with it. We need 3 points. We need 4 or 5 goals. We need a clean sheet. And we move on to the next game, because the Christmas fixtures are heavy, very heavy. And God knows how many are going to play because of COVID. We don't know what's going on. We need to win our games. Tottenham have already got like 3 games in hand on us. So we're only a point above them, or 2 points. So, yeah, we just have to keep doing it.
7 Man United. We've got a game in hand on us as well. Yeah. But I agree with you there. And it's like, I feel it's an important thing. For me, it's more, I feel it'd be more like the usual controlled performance from Arsenal, where we get the goals we need to win the game, rather than just going out. I'd love to. Do you know what? There's been a couple of times in the games where I'd just love to have an opportunity to go out and absolutely destroy them, and they don't. So that really does wire me up in a sense. But man, the problem I have with they're battered by injuries. Like Arsenal should have the winning and no excuses. And if anyone that says after the game that like we've been playing Saturday, then Wednesday and Saturday, well, hang on a minute, you all want us to get top 4, don't you? Well, we need to play Saturday and Wednesday and Saturday. Like if we're a big club, if we want to be a big club, we're going to be in Europe. If we're going to be in Europe, we're going to have to play Saturday or Thursday or Wednesday. Like Saturday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. I mean, for me, we can get top quality players whilst being in Europa League, right? So 4th, is great, but then 5th or 6th is not the end of the world. So for me, it's getting back into Europe so we can still attract the quality players we need. If it's Champions League, then fine. If it's Europa League, then fine. But some sort of European football, not the Conference League, not that. We need to play like that, and plus we've got Christmas fixtures coming up. We don't know what's coming where, that way. So if we're getting games and then staying on schedule, and we're still playing well, then take them whilst we've got the momentum. Because as soon as we drop momentum, I know at the minute with Arsenal, it takes ages to build up momentum. It does take a long time for this team to build momentum up. It really does.
All right. Well, I'm going to ask for predictions because I don't think there's much to talk about the Leeds game. On the one hand, Arsenal has been crap away from home, but Leeds has been doing horrible. They have a bunch of players that are not present for this game. So yeah, it should be an easy win. It's just that I can't bring myself to be confident away from home, the way Arsenal has been performing this season. But well, Matt asked me to remind everyone to like, share, and subscribe. This is the last show, last Gunners from All Corners that we're going to be doing in 2021. Next one's going to be next year, but we do have a Christmas and a New Year's special coming up the coming weeks. All right, Steven, what's your prediction for this game?
Well, I said on my own channel, sort of put my nuts on the line and said 3-0. So, well, 3-0 a minimum. That minimum of 3-0. So I'll go for a realistic 3-0, just because I just feel it's going to be controlled performance rather than go kill them.
All right. Princess Gunnar, what's your prediction?
I'm going 4-1. I've got a feeling they'll score first and we just all go to pieces. Like the fans will go absolutely ballistic. And then I think we'll take control. I could be completely wrong. I've only got 1 or 2 predictions right the whole season so far. So 1-4 to the Arsenal.
I won't follow you to the bookies then.
No, I'm rubbish at predictions.
It's not.
All right. Big up talking you. Love you, mate. All right. So Static has a prediction for us as well. 2-1. I think that's closer to mine. I'm not going to change, guys. I know everyone's going to think I'm silly, but I'm predicting a 2-2. Like away from home, I don't trust.
Not silly. No, in Arsenal, it's not silly.
Yeah, exactly.
To be honest, I don't get predictions right either. I mean, I predicted Hamilton to win last week and it didn't work. Well, it was right for 57.5 laps.
He always had to throw that in, an F1 comment, just out of the blue. No reason for it. Just remind me.
Shots. I'm just sending shots to the people who run it.
All right. Well, we've touched on this plenty already on today's show, but I really wanted to talk about the Auba situation. And King Said wasn't here for the beginning of the show, so let's start with you, mate. What are your thoughts on the whole Auba situation? Do you feel like we're gonna see him play again? I'm pretty sure he's never gonna get the captaincy again, but maybe you think otherwise. Do you think he's out of here soon? Do you agree with Steven that he's pretty much Arteta out and he's like playing worse than he should be playing just to throw out the manager? What are your thoughts?
I think first of all, when you look at the situation, we have to take a step back and analyze it. So since Arteta's come in, there's been quite a few incidents.
Yeah.
So we've had Saliba, who's kind of disrespected the club last year. What I mean about that is like he didn't fear the club. He called out the club, and he's 19. We'd had Guendouzi, who's had lots of issues with the manager.
Yeah.
We'd had Granit Xhaka incidents. We now have Aubameyang, and prior to that, we've had the Ozil situation. For me, this is a club issue. You do not have so many players falling out with the manager during such a short period at any other club in the world. So for me, it all started when Arsenal, when it's time to renew a contract with a player, we make the player so important that if we do not renew with them, the club will not last. And that's wrong. Like we did it with Sanchez. We should have sold him to Man City, took the money, and bought a new player.
What's that noise? Sorry.
It's my daughter.
Sorry, it just sounds like a Wookiee going.
Nah, she's sleeping. She's on my chest.
Sorry.
That's why. Let's see.
I'm not sure that comment's okay, but I'm glad King Said took it.
Oh, sorry, that wasn't supposed to be that. No.
Lovely.
That's why. Because Steven always liked to try and get me in trouble. He's a troublemaker, Steven.
I'm not sure. Where did you get that one from?
Yeah.
All right.
Always. But yeah, so like why like for example, for me personally, yeah, if you're gonna pay a player like 300,000 or upwards, you need to be competing for the Champions League. You need to be competing for the league.
Right.
Those are the kind of players who should earn that kind of money. But we are not in that level. So when you give a player that amount of money, you make him more important than anybody at the club. And he knows that. Because Aubameyang knows that nobody else in Arsenal earns anywhere near what he does. And he knows that the club are desperate for him to perform.
But if he didn't pay him that money, he would have gone, and none of us
Yeah,
wanted
but
him
that's
to go at that
but
point.
that's for me.
Said,
That's for me when you need to be
I'm
a
so
big
sorry
club.
to cut in here. It's just that PG needs to go soon, so I wanna give her the room just for a couple minutes. Then I'll go back to you on that matter. But I saw a really interesting comment that I wanted to hear your take on that. Because Static seems to think that Arteta should not have made public any of the issues with Aubameyang. What's your take on that? And what's your take on the Aubameyang situation as well before you go?
Well, as I said at the beginning, I don't think Arteta's done anything wrong. If he'd have said he's not in the squad, he's not in the squad, he's not in the squad, he'd had a million questions aimed at him. He can't say it was COVID because it wasn't. We'd have all been going, what the hell's going on? And it made it all about this. Instead of taking it away from the team, he took it away from the team and said, discipline, move on. I don't think he's done a thing wrong. And I think more managers should do it, because it just becomes obsession about social media. Would have been, why is he not playing? 100 million tweets would have been about this. Yeah,
actually be accusing he's deliberately not doing it to try and maybe
move
screw
on.
The team up or something.
Arteta doesn't want to pick him. No, it's because he has been disciplined for disrespecting his manager, his club, and his fans.
Yep.
End of story. And he hasn't. And actually, when he's pushed on it, Arteta, he does not go any further. He doesn't say why. He just says disciplinary reasons. Can we move on? I don't think he's done a thing wrong. I don't think we should hide. Why should Arteta take the flack for something Aubameyang's done? But as I said at the beginning, if he comes out and apologises to the manager, the club, and us, he'll definitely get a second chance from me. If he does just come on the pitch and act like he has been rubbish, to be honest, he's not a captain. And I'm glad that's been taken away from him. He's not captain, never been captain of Arsenal for me. I don't think Arteta's done anything wrong, but you can disagree with me. It is not difficult to say. It is difficult to keep saying no comment, because millions and millions of fans and papers and match of the day, and they'd all be summarising about it. No one is summarising about it now because it's disciplinary.
Well, the thing as well is that fans were then saying, if we're then losing games, losing left, right, and centre, all the fans would be going, well, if Aubameyang was in the team, we'd be winning.
Yeah, it would all have been about Aubameyang, and it's not really, because he's opened it and he's left it there.
As much as I don't like, don't get me wrong, I'm not Arteta's biggest fan. I don't like him at all. Right, but I'm backing him on this one because
most Arteta out people are.
You find him out.
But I just think that as he's said in the dressing room stays in the dressing room, and that's fine. I totally agree. We shouldn't hear that, but it would have all been so obsessive. We'd have been sitting here tonight going, "Why do you think he's not playing? Is he playing tomorrow?" We're not talking about him in that respect. We're talking about this. What he's done, he's dampened it, and I don't think he's done anything wrong.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. When you say he could be forgiven if he apologizes, which I'm not sure is going to happen, you mean forgiven and come back to playing, right? Not being captain.
Oh, he's never going to be captain. Never. No. I don't want him to be captain. He's not a captain. Lacazette's more of a captain than him.
Are you worried that Xhaka could become a captain again?
I want Xhaka to be captain.
No, are you worried that Xhaka will become captain again?
Listen, captains have been... I've seen the best captain in my life, Mr. Arsenal, Tony Adams. No one comes close. Vieira, maybe, Sol Campbell, whoever was captain. Yeah, it has been. I can't think of the word, like not demoralised, but demeaned a little bit. Captain. Yeah. I don't think it's as important.
My last one that I think was important to me was Baby Fabregas. To be honest, I think he was a bit of a leader on the pitch.
But I just think that what with captains, we need more leaders on the pitch. You know, I'm not really worried who's captain anymore because it really doesn't mean like it did 20 odd years ago. So it doesn't matter who they give it to. I don't want to give it to Ramsdale because I don't like a goalkeeper being captain. For me, I said Tierney and vice captain Gabriel. As long as Gabriel can, as long as Gabriel,
I knew you'd like that.
Yes.
as long as Gabriel can speak English to everybody and have one language on the pitch for everybody to understand, he's a great leader, Gabriel. I love Gabriel. Ben White, I think he's not yet. He's not ready for it. And I think just give it to the person that is a strong-minded character. And Tierney, you can't get any more strong-minded than Kieran Tierney.
It's not so much as Kieran Tierney is strong-minded. It's the fact that the way he conducts himself. He doesn't do any shenanigans like Aubameyang or something.
Never see Tierney on social media. Nothing.
No, He goes on to but even then, like, I didn't mind that too much from Aubameyang because sometimes it's good to connect to the fans. Sometimes it's good to connect with the fans, but if you're still performing well, like for me, like here's like I don't mind whatever
Stephen Aubameyang, or whether his management or Aubameyang liked a post of an opposing player that scored against us 2 hours before.
This is what I'm saying. So, as long as you're doing nothing wrong on it and you're still doing your job to the best of your degree, I haven't got a problem.
But he wasn't doing his job. And how dare you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like a picture of a player scoring against us. Yeah, I don't care if it was his management. He needs to sack his management, to be honest. It is absolutely Cristiano Ronaldo.
Right. I think PG, don't get me wrong. That's something I totally disagree with. But if he's happy to say, like, oh, I'm sorry for the result or good win today, like, and just can narrowly conduct himself well on social media as he's conducting himself on the pitch, then I wouldn't have a problem with that, right? But
I would. Like, you wouldn't have a problem with an opposing players' picture.
No. I'm having no. He wouldn't. No, I would have a problem if he went and did that on social media. What I'm saying is that if he conducted himself in a way that, like, that looked good to Arsenal, that he didn't like opposing players' pictures and he just praised on results or said he'd do better in defeats or something like that, and just conduct himself in a decent way like he does on the pitch, like he does play well.
Like Gabriel does. Gabriel does perfectly on social media and everywhere else.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, then I would say that I haven't got a problem with that too much. Like, but as long as he's putting the player's performance first, right, not what he's doing or whatever he's doing up on social media and that. But but Tierney, for me, the way he conducts himself, the way he acts, the way he's even sometimes connected on social media as well. So they'll go on social media eventually. Like, but the way he's even done that, he is a perfect representative, not just Arsenal, but a great leader on the pitch. Not just by the way his mentality is, the way he operates as a defender. Every game you can guarantee him he's going to play well. You can nearly guarantee.
I think Tierney's the fan captain.
He is, but if Lacazette signs his contract, then he'd be captain for me.
Oh yeah.
Even him as well. Yeah, because like
guys,
the only thing
Steven, I'm sorry to interrupt you there. Because I wanna apologize to King Said because I said I was gonna give the word.
I know, and I have to go.
Yeah, exactly. I want to wrap up the show, so I want to give you the room so that you can tell people where to find you and all of that. If you have any final thoughts as well. If you have any final thoughts,
I like that picture. You can find me on Twitter at GoonerGirl1969. Same on Instagram. That's at the moment. That's what I do. Really, thank you so much for having me on your podcast. Sorry for the IT issues at the beginning, and let's hope we 4 or 5 goals tomorrow at Ellen Road.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I thank you for being here. You're always welcome whenever you want to come back. Yeah.
Thank you, Marley. Thank you, Stephen. Bye, King.
Take care, Princess.
And bye, Static. Yeah, and you, King. Bye, Static. You are funny. Right. Take care, guys. Thanks for having me.
Take care, buddy.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So, Said, mate, because I interrupted you, if you want to, your final thoughts can be a little longer if you wish so. Go ahead.
Okay. What I wanted to say is that in a big club, sometimes you need to take tough decisions. You don't look at what your fans are saying. You look at what's best for the club in the short and long run.
Mm-hmm.
So signing up Aubameyang to that contract at his age was the easy decision to please the fans. But that has never worked for us before, and it's not working for us again. And that's what I'm saying. Aubameyang is a player who you can replace because he is not as good as he was at his prime. He was never Thierry Henry. He was never Robin van Persie. He was never Cesc Fabregas. What he was that he was a good goal scorer who scored plenty of goals, who scored important goals for us and won us the FA Cup. But even at then, he still had 10 games at least every season where he wouldn't do anything because if he doesn't score, he doesn't really affect the game. So for me, the right decision would have been we can't afford to pay you that. If you really love the club and you want to play, you want to be a legend, we can give you 200k or 250, but we're not going to go over that because we are not a Champions League team. We are not a Premier League team. So why should we pay you that when we are not playing at that level? Because now that we have paid him that, he knows that his salary is so high that no other club can afford him. Arsenal can't really afford him to not perform. And now that he's not performing, we have a big issue. And we shouldn't be in a situation where players can hold us to ransom. We had it with Mesut Ozil. We saw all the issues that it caused. And we now have it again with Aubameyang. And it's like fans are like, yeah, but you couldn't hold him. Why not? Why couldn't we sell him? We have sold better and bigger players and moved on. So why shouldn't we be able to do the same? I don't understand.
That makes sense, mate. That makes sense. Right.
Yeah. And
well, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. And for me, it's like whenever we are in that situation, we panic. It's like we panic with Sanchez, we panic with Ozil, we panic now with Aubameyang, and I hope we won't panic with Lacazette as well. Because let's not forget, before this run of games, the narrative was Lacazette is a better player than Aubameyang, but he doesn't score enough goals. As soon as he scores a few more goals, now everybody wants us to renew with him. If we renew with him and he then goes back to not scoring a lot, the narrative will then go, why did we renew? He's not good enough. We need a better striker. To me, as much as I rate him,
I don't want to start a new discussion here, but I think the difference is I don't want us to renew with Lacazette, by the way. I don't. I think it would be a mistake. Good. But I kind of understand because we have very little experience in the squad, and I feel like Lacazette, he might get somewhat of a raise, but I don't think he would get near Aubameyang's numbers. So I think it would be a lesser concern, but I get what you're saying exactly. But I need you to speed things up, though, because I want to wrap up.
Yeah, that's fine. But anyway, we have a good opportunity now against Leeds. Let's see if the team can be consistent, play good, and score a couple of goals. Because I do think that we need to take these opportunities when they come. Because if we keep losing against teams we're supposed to win against, then we're going to have to overperform against teams that are better than us.
Yeah. All right, mate. Tell the people where to find you if you want to be found in any way.
And you can find me on Sweetly TV. And if you don't know, I'm a hostage. Stephen forces me.
You're a twat.
and he always swear at me. So if you can please comment, subscribe, so maybe then he will be nicer to me. That would be good.
You're such a twat.
All right,
and you can find me here sometimes as well.
Yeah. Well, first show of January, we're gonna have you for the whole show. Okay. I'm sorry about today.
No worries at all, man. No worries at all.
All right, my man. Thank you so much for being here, Steven, mate. Tell us for the 1 millionth time where to find you, and please let there be 1 million more. By the way, but tell the people where to find you.
You can find me obviously first. You Gunner Small Corners, co-hosting with Marley. So you're always gonna find me here. So I'll also be doing my obviously my own channel, SVT TV, Arsenal, F1 content until New Year. I need to talk actually about discussing that, about sorting out stuff for that. But yeah, we're going to be doing our own F1 channel if I have the mood for it right now, because I'm a bit disillusioned with it right now. But yeah, yeah, come and check us out on SVT TV. Loads of debates, great talking points, great guests, you name it. Smash the like button. We're on 1.12 now, so we're getting to 1.13. Will be nice. Yeah, anyone that's new, smash that like and subscribe, and make sure you subscribe here right now.
All right, awesome. That was our show, guys. That's all the time we have today. Thank you so much. If you're still watching right now, thank you, Steven. Thank you, King Saeed. Thank you, Static, and thank you so much. Big up to PG. May she return. And yeah, guys. Okay, let me find the outro.
Yeah, just
here.
Quickly on Monday, if you're watching, Gabriel is better than Maguire.
What?
Gabriel is better than Maguire.
Yes. Gabriel will always be better than Maguire. Gabriel can lose a foot and be better than Maguire.
Yeah,
right,
that's
guys.
Monday.
Thank you so much. See you next time. Stay tuned to our Christmas special next week. Okay? Right. Ciao.